How's everybody doing today? Good? Good. I just want to start by saying thank you to Coach Brown, Jason, and the St. Michael's family for allowing me to coach PT guys today. I don't know if every guys had that feeling where it's like project day and you don't want to be the first one. You're ready to talk about your project, but you don't want to be the first one, so you go like second or third, just third, not like that. So that's how I'm kind of feeling right now. So bear with me as we go through this journey together. I'm working on myself being as vulnerable as possible. I literally had a genuine conversation 3 days ago for 2 or 3 hours, and it was like I had to work on being vulnerable and being in time right now, in space right now. Kind of some of the things that we deal with as people, which is not being as vulnerable as possible, not being as honest as possible, not being yourself, you know. So that's what I'm working on today, and that's what I'm here to kind of talk to you guys about. And like Coach Brown said, my story a little bit, it's almost like he told me about me, which is kind of crazy. Who can know you? But that's me on the face value. So that's me when you first meet me. That's what I'll kind of tell you. That's why I kind of, illustrate I've done X, Y, and Z. But that's not necessarily only who I am or who I am. I was telling somebody last night, I was like, wow, I got to stop putting on a front for people because that's hindering me. That's crushing me. I have to stop showing people who I want to be and have to start showing people who I really am. And that's why I decided to write this book. When people ask me, like, oh, EJ, what's your motivation? Why'd you write a book? I said, God was talking to me, and I really don't know why. That's why I keep going. And for a lot of things I do, I just keep going because when I don't have an answer, I need to go find the answer. So, like, why do you continue to play football even though you just worked out for Pro Scouts? I don't really know. I have to go find the answer. Why do you write a book when people already know about you? It's like, I already know. I really don't know. Right? So I'm the type of person that have to go find answers. And that's why I urge you today is find answers within yourself and find answers in life. And how do we do that? We have to ask ourselves why. So today, as we go through the day, we're going to read a couple pages. We're going to talk a little bit. I'm going to make it as interactive as possible because I consider St. Michael's friends and family. And we're going to ask ourselves why in every step of this process, all right? So I'm going to start with reading just the first page. I'm not going to read the whole book, but I want to read the first page because the first page touched me hard, right? So the first page, it starts off introduction. Perfect is nothing in this world, yet everything is perfect in itself. So why do we seek perfection for something we already are? Why do we ponder if we're good enough for the world to love us when all we need is love from ourselves? Why does darkness seem more socially acceptable than the natural light we are? I've asked myself these questions for years. Who you are not only defines where you've been, but it's a preview for where you'll go and how you'll get there. The book of you can only be changed by you. With knowing that information, you change the only thing that can change your narrative. Will you plant the seed of positivity in your mind and let it grow? For most, the seed of positivity has been planted but never watered. Your perception creates your reality, a reality you will breathe in. The life you live in is a living projection of your mind. And the only way to project positivity in your mind, in your life, is to change the only thing that you can control, you. You are the only thing in this world that you can control: your thoughts, actions, and surroundings. For most of our lives, we don't realize that we hold the keys to our own future. We think our actions are controlled by variables we can't explain. When will we take control of our own lives and destiny? When will we realize we're not the only one going through the struggle? When will we realize we're not alone? At the end of the day, we're all just trying to survive the storm and everything that comes with it. So I want to harp on something. I want to beat something into you guys, right? Perfect is nothing in this world, yet everything is perfect in itself. That's kind of heavy. What does that mean? I have my perception of what that means, but everybody's is different, right? What does that mean for me? Perfect is nothing in this world. How many of you guys have been told, oh, you're perfect just the way you are? At the same token, how many guys have been told, oh, don't worry, honey, don't worry, sweetheart, don't worry, son, nobody's perfect. We go through life and we have people contradicting every step of it, which internally we contradict our thoughts, our actions, whatever the case may be. How am I perfect? And how am I not perfect at the same time? How do I do the right thing? But at the same time, it's okay if I do the wrong thing. It's okay to mess up. How do I be myself, but also fit in? Those are questions I ask myself at your age. We come to a school, high school, it's the biggest time. We fit in, we meet people, we mingle, whatever the case is. And at this time, this is where you get faced with the challenge. Are you going to be yourself, or are you going to conform to society? Are you going to conform to your peers? Me at your age, and mind you, most of you guys are over 15 years old, right? I'm 23. So we're less than 7, 8 years apart. And I still deal with these struggles today because I'm around people and I have to act a certain way. And that might not necessarily be who I am. When I was in high school, I guess you could say I was part of the popular crowd, whatever the case may be. But we all know that there's standards that come with that, whether that's dressing, whether that's you have to act a certain way, whether that's you have to talk a certain way. Well, those are hard, right? Those barriers are hard because you have to live up to those barriers every time you walk into the school, every time you're around those type of people, every time you do anything publicly, you have to hold those barriers. You have to maintain that standard. So along the process, I started to forget or lose who I was internally because I was always being somebody else. I was always projecting somebody else. Remember I talked about the word vulnerability. So when I was doing this for years and years on out, and I have an older brother who's 4 years older, so even at a younger age, middle school, I'm trying to be just like them because they were cool to me, because that was what I thought was what society and my social standards needed. So I met those standards. And it was hard. Because when I had a hard day, I could not show it because that wasn't a part of the standard. And for you now, there's a big, trend going on, popular learning, which a lot of people have different meanings for it. The way I take it is, I can be known, I can be popular, but I'm really empty inside, or I really don't feel whole inside, or I'm missing something, but I can't let you know I'm missing something, because then I wouldn't be popular, because now I don't meet that criteria of what popular takes. It's not only you guys, this is my third or fourth school I talk to, and it's everybody. Everybody gives me the same look because it's like, yeah, I kind of go through that. How you know that? You're not even my age group. How do you know that? Well, guess what? Not you guys, but we all in this world are going through that. The adults, the people younger than you will go through that. The people younger than you are going through that because of social media. So you're not alone. That's why I did the thing. I said we're all going through similar things, but we're not alone. We all go through similar struggles, but we're not alone. So, growing up, high school, like Coach Brown said, I was a football guy. That's what I was known for. I was a football guy. Because football guys were at a certain standard, and that's the standard I met. But guess what? That means I didn't meet my education standard. And because I was a football guy, it was okay not to meet my education standards. It was okay not to. And for me, it was okay not to meet those as well. Why? Because I was a football guy. Because I had all the friends. Because everybody knew me. All the teachers loved me. I was the class clown. I was a part of the standards. I was the funny guy. I was a part of the standards. I dressed okay. I was a part of the standards. And then after I graduated, shook, the principal's hand, did my dance on stage, whatever, walked off. The next day, I said, damn, I'm out of high school football. And those standards left. And those standards were not even standards for me no more. I couldn't fit it if I wanted to because that's not me no more. So then guess what? I went to college, junior college. I'm falling to the truth. Junior college. And why did I do that? Because I wanted to be a football guy and I didn't meet the education standards. So guess what I did? I went across the country to California at 17 years old. Not because I wanted to, but because the decisions I made in high school affected what I did after. So guess what? I struggled. I slept on a 3-foot couch, literally the size of this podium. Where I had a chair that I had to put my legs out, and it gave me back problems for like the next year and a half. I slept with people that were not twice my age, but about 5 years older than me. So 17, I had roommates that were 23, drinking, smoking. I really wasn't into those things. But that was the environment I was put in because I let myself go in high school. So what I'm here to tell you is what you're doing now, who you are now, will affect you later to the fullest extent. Right now, you're planting a seed. And you're in an environment, you can either water it or you can let it die. And it's like, well, I still got time to change. Yeah, you always have time to change. And that's the beauty of life. You can change at a dime. You can change at any moment. Because the way I perceive you doesn't make you who you are. What makes you who you are is the way you think your reality is. So the way you want to be, tomorrow you can change. If today I perceive you as you're this football guy, whatever the case is, tomorrow you can change and say I'm a science guy. Or tomorrow you can say I'm me, whoever you want. That's the beauty of life. And that's what I realized, not at a terribly late time, but that's what I realized, later than sooner. So after going through junior college, sleeping on this couch, I'm depressed. I'm really honest with you guys. I'm depressed. I'm lost. Football took a turn for the worse, and I had an injury where it required surgery. So my recruiting process got slowed down a little bit. And life is kind of catching up to me. I'm not 17 no more at this time. I'm about 18, 19. So, and I've been, junior college for a year and a half now. And I'm like, this is hard. Don't have the moral support, the financial support that I thought I did because internally I wasn't strong enough at that point. So this is hard. This is weighing on me heavy. This is weighing on me a lot. And I thought nobody understood me. And I never gave the chance for anybody to understand me because that was a part of society that I've been a part of, that I put myself in. We don't talk about our feelings. We carry our fake smiles. We carry our jokes. But inside, we all pled for help. Inside, we were all mad. Inside, we all had things that we just didn't want to let go, or things that we didn't want to accept. So that ate at me every day. I talk about it a little in the book, the fake smiles, the lifeless stares. And guess what? I come into schools and I see the same ones from the kids right now, and I'm like, oh, okay. You guys are in the process. And that's unfortunate because you guys have adults, you guys have people around you that have been a part of those processes, and they have let you down because they see the same signs that there were in them, and they're saying that's just a part of life. Suck it up. And they're saying you'll grow out. But they don't know that. They don't know if you'll grow out. And who are they to say that's a part of life? Because they've been through it? I'll tell you right now, 14 years old, freshman year, beginning of freshman year. And so rest in peace, his name was Edwin. He was in my class. He had some of these traits I'm talking about. And I'm assuming his parents and people around him, teachers, they all said, he'll grow out of it. And one day, he grew up. He committed a sin. He took his life. And what are they going to say now? That's his fault, right? But maybe some of these standards that we held ourselves so high to, if we had stopped it and just started being real people, that wouldn't be a thing. Maybe. I can't say. A couple years later, about 15 out, 16 out, party with my older brother. It's like, I'm lit, okay, cool, I'm going to a party. Right. There's a girl, and some of the people we know, mutual friends, made fun of this girl. And that's cool because that's a part of our standard. We're goons, we're clowns. We're gonna make jokes, we're jokesters. But guess what? Next day she took her life as well. We didn't see that. That wasn't our fault, right? That's just part of who we are. Well, I'm here to tell you that who you are is only decided by you. And if you want to change who you are, you can do it today, you can do it tomorrow, you can do it in a split second. And you don't owe nobody an explanation of why you changed, how you changed. You don't owe anybody an explanation. They're gonna sit there and say, "Oh, Tyler, why are you acting different, man?" I'm just trying to be me. That's why you hear everybody lose friends out of high school, because guess what? You start to realize I'm starting to be. Or I'm telling you, start to early. Don't put up a front for people that you don't know how long they'll be in life, right? The more you take it, the more you're taking away from the real you. I'm reaching another page. This is probably my favorite page of the book, so if anyone says otherwise, they're wrong. This is my favorite page of the book. 16 and 7. They say a smile can mean 1,000 words. In those thousand words, my smile continuously contained words like depression, anxiety, and pain. At this point in life, I had walked hopelessly from the fake smiles to the lifeless death stares to the excessive laughing to cover up my pain. I was defeated. I had given up on any dreams or ambitions I once had. I was physically in great shape, but mentally I hit a low that was even surprising for me. I realized my heart was broken by heart-damaging things I couldn't fully explain. The more I endured, the more I felt punished, but I covered up all with a smile that eventually hurt more to put on. I tried too hard to fit in. It was tiresome. I had questioned everything in life. We were unique by design. There could never be another you. So what exactly was the societal standard that we felt the necessity to live up to? Why was that necessity so vivid in our lives? This poetry is a silent killer of death. Oh, you're gonna love me, serenading your ears with the sweet words of false hope, intoxicating your forbidden fruits with the thought of casual sex and meaningless relationships, poisoning your angel-touched skin with the brute force of reality. Soon I had the realization that I wasn't living to fulfill my full happiness. I was incomplete in every sense of life. Self-doubt had crept in early and often. Who am I? What had I become? The materialistic things didn't bring my heart true happiness. Fitting in didn't bring me true joy. The laughter didn't keep the pain away. I should have incriminated myself as I committed a crime only I understood. I murdered my inner rarity and complexity to become ordinary, screaming to the heavens above, I am lost. I am nothing in a world full of perfect beings, yet I am everything in a room full of nothing people. What I mean? I am nothing in a world full of perfect beings, yet I am everything in a room full of perfect people. Full of perfect people. Let me read that one more time, sorry. I am nothing in a world full of perfect beings, yet I am everything in a room full of nothing people. What does that mean, right? Kind of weird. I am nothing in a room full of perfect beings. So have you guys ever been somewhere, let's say school, when you first enter school? What happens? Naturally, you pick up people that you're most common to, right? People that you're most like, whether that's the football or whether that's, sports people, whether that's, whatever the case may be, right? So that's what happened. I clicked up with people that were also depressed, that also had pains that they were covering up, that also had anxiety that they were covering up, that also faked it to me, right? I was dealing with those people. And then I go around people that were a little more aware and a little more, self-aware, I would say. I was like, oh, I'm nothing. Compared to you guys, I'm nothing. I use a different analogy. You go, like people say, you're in a room full of millionaires, you're trying to get on the nervous, right? You feel like you're nothing. You feel like you're less. You're in a room full of NFL people. You're somebody trying to make it, you quiet yourself, right? When you're in a room full of Elon Musk, you're going to get a little intimidated, right? So because mentally, we're going to take it mentally, because I wasn't mentally there, because I was mentally depressed, because I had anxieties, I had all these things, I had pains. when I was in a room full of people that not necessarily didn't have it, but knew how to cope with it, I didn't feel right. However, when I was with those type of people that were same with me, the ones that hide it with their smiles, the one that has the excessive laughing, or everybody has different triggers, but that was what I did. That was my trigger. You see the excessive laughing or smiling with your body something wrong, right? Those are the ones I felt wrong. I felt perfect. That was my chaos. But laying out your 52 cards is you being honest when you have conversations. You being honest with yourself. You being honest with the people that deserve your honesty. Laying out your 52 cards is you saying, I'm not okay, and this is why I'm not okay. To somebody that cares about you. And instead of worrying about how they react, worry about how you felt releasing that bargain, releasing that news, releasing that secret. So often, we worry about what somebody else feels. And I just told the person I'm dealing with 2 days ago, I said, I'm going to act how I act regardless of how you respond. Because it's not how about the other person responds. It's not about how they take it. It's about how you let it out. It's about you letting it out. It's about you finally becoming yourself. It's about you being honest with yourself, regardless of how somebody else sees it. So laying out your 52 cards. Complete vulnerability. It's one of the hardest things I think any person, because we all have this thing in the back of our head. How would they take advantage? I hope they use this information to hurt me. It's not what they do. Surviving the storm. I realized the storm is a part of you. The storm is in those 52 cards. You will never shake the storm. But mentally that has fogged, but your storm is a part of you. That's any battle you go through. Any battle you go through is a part of you forever. It's a part of your DNA. This is what makes you you. So laying out your 52 cards, your 52 cards are you. Are you willing to be honest with yourself? Are you willing to lay yourself out on the line? Because how are we supposed to build real, true relationships, friendships, marriages, if we're not being honest with the people that are closest to us? So guess what? I ain't even going to think about doing that. You tripping. I ain't tripping. You tripping. Why? Back to the standards. The societal standards that I put myself into. Not that somebody put me into, that I put myself into. And I realized, let me give it a chance. So little by little, lay the little cards out. 3 of spades, maybe, whatever, right? Little cards. Let that out first. This feels good to let it out. Okay? But always in the back of my head. I ain't letting the big ones out. Big ones ain't going. No, that's staying in my hand. Then I realized, why do I keep that in my head? Why? Like I said, why? I really like this person at that time. I really like this person. So why would I not let this person know the real me? Why did I let this person understand this perception of me, this fake? How can I go through life knowing that I'm not okay with whatever I was keeping in? So that's why I challenge you guys to do it. Are you willing to be the real you? Even when sometimes the situation might not look the best. When I started letting these cards out, what I realized is I started having more genuine connections, more genuine conversations. Before, like I told one of the students, what you say and how you act is, imagine it's always being written. That's what I'm thinking. Right? So when you're saying, I'm not going to do this, or I can't trust people, or everybody's out to get me. Well, guess what? You're going to get people that are out to get you. That's what you're supposed to do. going to have a genuine relationship because you don't seek it within. What you put in this world will come back and forth. When I started putting out in the world the real me, I started getting real, genuine conversations, real, genuine relationships. I met real, genuine people. I didn't see it as somebody out to get me. If I told the honesty, if I said the truth, I didn't see it as that. Why? Because I didn't allow myself to see it as that. Because for so many years, I let myself live in this standard, and I never got to see anything else. So if you guys want better in life or for yourselves, currently, whatever the case is, you have to start internally. You have to plant your seed, which is already planted. You have to water your seed with positivity. You have to water your seed. And tend to it. Don't just leave it. Tend to it. It hurts. That's why they call it growing pains. And it doesn't matter if you're 15, 16, or if you're 35, 65, it doesn't matter because the seed is always growing and the seed can always grow. And maybe the soil around it, and maybe everything's dead around it, and go replant it. Well, understand that mentally, you have the power to do and change and live and breathe however you choose to. And when I realized that, that's when I started having things. That's when I got the opportunity. I was like college ball, university. That's when I got the opportunity to meet real people. That's when I got the opportunity, less opportunity to do some of these things. Football. It's all about talking. It's all about meeting. Right? At the end of the day, it's your time to go. Whatever that is. Lighthearted, soul, light. You want to hold things. I'm a big person, I'm a big believer in your legacy is going to be carried by the people that speak at you at your break, right? And when they speak on you, they don't say nothing but genuine good things. What have you? Because why you met and made real connections with people. Humans with souls. You won't be fake. And you could be you. These people knew you for the real you, and not who you pretended to be. They won't know me because I'm out there partying. They'll know me because, guess what, I was inside doing whatever it is, playing video games. They'll know me for the 8 hours of video games I can't play on a day-to-day basis. They won't know me for 2 hours I spend outside being somebody that I'm not. So don't hinder you from you. You read one more page. The last page. Last page. As people, we can't choose to ignore the ongoing mental health issues that we face in today's society. These dark conversations must be had for all of us to move forward in a more positive light. We have an obligation to each other to understand all types of mental illnesses and help raise more awareness for the next person. We have to understand and build our emotional and mental literacy. It is time we make mental health a priority in society and not just an afterthought. There must be an urgency in seeking better for yourself, inspiring yourself to be a higher you. Your tree is yearning to grow. However, it's time to change the soil. This may seem like you're taking steps back, but taking steps back in the right direction leads you to the path that you were destined to take from the start. If life tries to slow you down, tell them again the right way. Society will have you speeding or slowing your process of growth for others. Keep moving forward. Don't be mad at yourself or others while you're finding your identity. You can still be the same person you always desired to be. You just have to find a new approach to an old tree. This journey can be treacherous, so unexpected, but I promise you, there is no better time than now to change our past mistakes and downfalls and create a better future for the years to come. A storm can only live in certain weather, so consider changing the environment. I urge you to photograph the beautiful days that you're truly happy. Pain is temporary, but but memories are forever. These are the memories that you will cling on to when the dark times come. When the dark times come around. Always remember, you're not alone. I'm here to lighten your soul, to better your mind and release the pain that kills your heart's joy. Remember, success can only be measured by you. So choose to do whatever makes you gold. You can succeed in life, I believe you. For this life, I love you, and the next one, I'll be with you as white lily will grow together. It's a little awkward to talk in public. If you guys have any questions on the book, my medias are in the back. If you want to come up to me and ask me any questions, I'll be here for a little bit. Or you can ask for my social medias, I'll get that to you as well.
Thank you.